You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Well, it's an unfortunate start to conference play for the Tigers, who fall on the road at Navy. We'll recap that game, discuss the importance of giving back for the program, and look ahead to an in-state matchup at home against Middle Tennessee State. It's a Ryan Silverfield Show. Let's go.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. When you've got battery trouble, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Conway Services, official heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. And by Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams.
The college football season will ebb and flow, and Navy sinks our Tigers in Annapolis. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin.
And I'm Doc Holliday. Let's take a look at the highlights.
The conference opener for Memphis. Tigers looking for their 6th consecutive win over Navy. Opening kickoff went out of bounds, giving the Tigers great field position. They capitalized. Mario Anderson scampering into the end zone from 7 yards out. Memphis takes an early 7-0 lead. Now tied at 7 later in the first quarter. Brandon Thomas has scored a million goal line touchdowns the last few years, but he can still do this. Gaping hole, hits the gas pedal, crib call. BT going 57 yards to glory. Tigers go back on top 14-7. Not it again, this time at 14 in the second quarter. The Navy offense starts cooking. Brandon Chapman on the toss, makes a nice cut upfield, and no one's stopping him. He runs it in from a dozen yards out. Midshipmen take their first lead of the day. It's 21-14. Now 21-17 Navy with under 20 seconds left in the first half. Blake Horvath had himself a day. Wins the race to the pylon for the score. Navy takes a 28-17 lead to the locker room. Tigers now trailing 35-17 in the third quarter. Need an answer. Seth Hennigan says, Rock Taylor's down there somewhere. The insane 37-yard touchdown catch with 2 defenders all over him. Gotta see it in slow motion. Doesn't get much better than that. Tigers get a much-needed score to close the gap. And here they come. End of the third, knocking on the door again. Super Mario breaks it down. Anderson with his second score of the day. This one from 6 yards out. All of a sudden, it's 35-30. But now, 42-30 Navy early fourth quarter. Like I said, Horvath had himself a day. Breaks into the open field, and he's gone for a 90-yard touchdown. He had 6 total touchdowns and accounted for over 400 yards of offense. Tigers down 19. Looked like that was the dagger. Not so fast. Under 7 to play now. Hennigan airing it out again. This time he has Marcelo Bussey wide open in the end zone. Hauls it in for the 36-yard tutty. His first as a Tiger. Memphis not going quietly. It's a 12-point game. The defense got a key stop. Under 90 seconds to play. Anderson for the hat trick. Punches in his 3rd touchdown of the day. Number 7 of the season. It's a 5-point game. Ryan Silverfield decides to go for 2 to make it a 3-point game. Hennigan floats into Kobe Drake in the back of the end zone. Looks like he makes the insane catch for the conversion. However, on review, somehow this is not a catch because the ball moves at the end. So, Memphis down 5 with 1:25 left. They have all 3 timeouts. Ensuing kickoff. Hayden Costa was keeping cool under pressure because this onside kick was money. Navy can't handle it. Tigers jump on it at the bottom of the pile. They get the ball and have a chance to drive and win the game. And again, the offense got it to the Navy 26. About 45 seconds left. The comeback, unfortunately, ends here. Rayon Lane III jumps the route, picks it off, and he's going back the other way for the game-sealing pick 6. Tigers are upset in their conference opener. Navy wins it 56-44. Let's get some post-game chatter.
Clearly, we had no answer for the triple option in Navy's offense. Very, very disappointed in overall execution. It's been a long time since I've seen that lack of execution on one side of the ball in a long time, and I've got to get it fixed. And the quarterback crushed us. We gave up explosive plays, and again, like I said, we got to go back and figure out. I wish we had a chance to find answers and find a way, but versus that type of team, you've got to find a way to get stops, and we didn't. Look, the fight of this team is there, and that's evident, but that's not good enough. You got to find ways to win the football game at the end of it. And I told the team post game, I said, if there's anything I know about you guys, we'll keep battling. Right? One game cannot define our season.
As the season now shifts to conference play, let's talk a little bit about scheduling. I know you've had 2 teams already that have had bye weeks before they've played you. How does the scheduling whole thing begin? Is it still like 20 years in advance?
Well, so a lot of the out-of-conference stuff is, you'll sit there and say, okay, hey, I'm excited to play at Boise State in 2030, and they come back here in 2031. So a lot of that is, we got Arkansas, some home and homes with them. A lot of that's done way in advance, right? Some of that is set even before I became the head coach. And then, a lot of those discussions occur, with the athletic director, like the ability to play Florida State. That was one of those things that was set within my first 6 months on the job, being able to play a game like that. Then you look at the in-conference stuff, right? And what ends up happening is, as soon as the season ends, all right, the conference commissioner, all those involved with it, they start putting together almost like a Tetris puzzle. All right, we got to get this game here, we got to get this game. This year it's unusual because so many teams have byes, right? Back-to-back byes, or maybe multiple byes throughout the season. And so just trying to figure out what that looks like, that's up to those people in conference trying to figure all that out.
And normally those first couple of games of the season, which are non-conference games, what goes on as far as balancing, okay? Because people think those are just money games, but you want to get somebody a tough opponent, but at the same time you want to work on some things and use it like preseason games pretty much, but they're real games.
Yeah, look, it was nice to collect a $1.3 million check from Florida State. We'll continue to do that. And I get it all the time from fans saying, well, you guys need to schedule Tennessee, Notre Dame, and Alabama. That sounds great, but if we don't win those games, are you guys going to give me a hard time? Sure. Or where does that money go? When it's all said and done, we want to schedule competitive teams, right? And we're all about that. We've been very open about trying to find opponents that are willing to play us. I also want to be fair to our fans. I don't want to go play a bunch of away games for money and lose out on being able to bring a premier opponent to the Liberty Bowl. And so that's huge to me, is trying to figure out, okay, where does it make sense? Does it make sense other than to go out there and play a West Coast team when it's not really a regional decision? Our fans can't travel there. Maybe we're not going to recruit that area. So a lot of that goes into play. You also want to find teams that, that are willing and able to play you. That's the key as anything.
With the conference schedule, on paper, your 3 hardest games are on the road. How much input do you or Ed Scott have in this? Is it all the commissioner? What's the role TV plays in this?
Yeah, we have zero influence on where and when our games are played. Once that happens, once our non-conference is set, then the conference sits there and says, okay, we're going to slate this and that. I think TV does have something to do with it. I don't want to get too far down the road, but it was clear what they were trying to do by set the game versus Tulane, last game of the regular season, a Thursday night primetime game on Thanksgiving. I think there's some of those things that go into it. Now, the time of the game so much has to do with, hey, television picked this up, or hey, maybe it's another choice network. But a lot of those things come into play as that stuff gets settled.
When you're looking at the schedule and talking to your team, do you break the schedule down into seasons? Like, okay, we got this is a season, but once we get to conference season, this is a whole different season.
Doc, I used to think that way. Now, with dealing with every week is its own season. I mean, we're so dialed in. Okay, this week, a brand new season, because there's so many things that can occur in a 7-day period. And I think our guys have kind of bought into that, right? Okay, that one's behind us. Here's a whole new season. And it's amazing because when you put that many hours in, it does feel like a whole new season.
The Tigers made a very special visit to brighten some kids' days earlier in the year. We'll recap the visit to Le Bonheur coming up next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Welcome back to the Ryan Silverfield Show. The Tigers love giving back to the community, and one of the organizations they're most involved with is Le Bonheur Children's Hospital. They recently paid a visit there to put a smile on some kids' faces. In the end, the Tigers get as much as they give.
Great here from the Tigers this year. We just really value the partnership that we have. You guys come to the Seacrest Studios. Kids love that. They love coming down here visiting with you, and Coach, just honored to be partnering with you for Le Bonheur Children's Hospital.
We certainly do appreciate the partnership and the relationship. It's obviously very meaningful to our guys. They love coming out here. To the patients of Le Bonheur, the families, we absolutely love you guys. You guys are the strong ones, and we're here to support you. For all the workers of Le Bonheur, thank you guys for your tireless efforts every single day to continue to pour into these families. To our players that understand what a special, special place this is. To the medical staff, everybody that continues to give back the right way in this wonderful city. We're just so grateful for all this. This is a great day for us because we leave here feeling better about how we can help out, and we want to help out more. And this is such a great time of reflection for us. Proud of you guys, appreciate everything. This wonderful relationship will continue for many years.
We are extremely grateful for the opportunity to come here at Le Bonheur and be around the kids. Just the opportunity to pour into them. They just don't know how much they pour into us, and you know how much it really feels the heart to really come here and support them in any way we can.
Yeah, it means the world to be able to be out here at Le Bonheur. We've been coming out here the last couple of years, so just to be able to be around the kids and have our whole entire team out here and not just like a couple of us, it's an awesome experience for all of us, for sure. The impact that we have on the kids and how sometimes they come out of their shells just from us being around them. So, I mean, whatever we can do to try and give back to the community. So it's a really cool event that Coach Silverfield and the staff lets us do every single fall camp. So it's just awesome being out here and knowing that we can have that impact on the kids. It means the world to every one of us.
There's a lot. Giving back to the community is something I enlisted in myself as a kid. So just being able to continue doing that in college is very impactful, and being here today means a lot, even more for us to be in fall camp. It kind of leveled us out, especially with our experience of being locked in with football, so very grateful. We really do care a lot about the kids, and we do care about the life outside of sports. Just enjoying this experience, you really could just tell how everyone is kicking in, that we all do still have that kid in us, and that we do want to see everyone really doing well in life.
I think the biggest thing is that it's always important for us to give back, but as soon as the guys get out here and they see the smiles on the kids' faces and what they're able to bring to these kids, I think it warms everybody's heart. And again, they give back to us and we give back to them. It's just a great feeling. To see these young men to give back to the community, I think that's the biggest thing that warms my heart as a coach, to see these guys be more than just football players. Understanding that they hold a big responsibility as a city and able to give back and bring back to the community.
Every year, you guys make a trip to Le Bonheur. You have a lot of service stuff that you put in as part of the team regiment. How does all that get put together?
Well, I think it's important, right? We're so fortunate in this community that there's so many great organizations that we feel so fortunate to have the ability to give back to. And Le Bonheur is just one of the many. Obviously, we have a great partnership with Le Bonheur. Lauren Hellman, our Director of Player Relations, really actually provides community service to our guys that they're able to do it usually on the off days, right? Usually a Monday where they have the ability to go do something within the community. And what I love about our players is they want to give back. And I'm gonna brag on Lauren here for a second and our guys. We were 5th in the entire country last season in community service hours for Division I football teams. I mean, that's a remarkable thing. That's one of those things that should be hung on a banner with championships. But the more we can give back to the community, the better we feel.
And I always found out when I used to take those visits as a player, even now go to places like Le Bonheur, they end up giving more to me than that I'm giving to them, because you see how tough they are and what they're going through. You're like, man, I don't have a reason to complain about nothing on what's happening on this football field.
100%. You're exactly right. Like I always ask our guys, in fact, one of the things we talk about our standard within this program. And if we have the ability to show maybe on Sunday somebody that did a community service hour, a group of guys that went out and did community service, and I have them stand up, I said, share with the team what you guys did. I said, no, maybe it's at Le Bonheur. Did the patients enjoy you guys going and seeing karaoke? Oh, Coach, they loved it. They had smiles on their face. It meant everything to them. And I'll say, did you guys enjoy it? And then they immediately said, absolutely. It was an absolute joy and a pleasure. And it's one of those things, we're so very fortunate. And the ability to be able to give back in this great city to so many of those in need, that's the least we can do. We're so glad there's so many organizations like Le Bonheur around.
I can remember several years ago, a Tiger player playing piano at the hospital for kids. Have you got a favorite story that you can remember along those lines?
Well, I just think that, the ability for you hear some of these stories about our guys going and meeting with some of these children, right? Giving back to the community, whatever it may be. There's, like I keep saying, the city of Memphis has so many wonderful organizations that we're able to get back to. But then you see some of these patients, maybe at Le Bonheur, right? Or a St. Jude child that said, you know what, I used to be a patient there, and now they're attending their games, or they come shake your hand at the radio show. It just touches your heart, and you just feel like, wow. And they talk about, hey, the day you guys came by, or this player was my favorite player because he used to write me letters. It just touches your heart, and you just feel so blessed, the ability to be able to give back.
And just even with that, able to take it and implement it not only on the football field, but in life, seeing people that have challenges and you have challenges. Because I know that used to always help me, and I know it helps a lot of these players.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what it does is we always talk about being better men, right? And how can we continue to pour into them? Because it's not just about football and X's and O's. And I think our guys, they take from it and they learn and they grow. And hopefully it makes them better husbands and fathers, but also be able to give back in their community, even if they end up in the city of Memphis or wherever they are.
After a couple of weeks on the road, the Tigers are back home for an in-state matchup against Middle Tennessee State. We're talking about that next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
Oh, it's going to be great to be back home, and now we know the time. The kickoff between the Tigers and Middle Tennessee State is 6:36 to be exact.
Yeah, excited, obviously, to be able to bring a in-state opponent from Murfreesboro over to Memphis and to be back home, right? To be in front of our great fans is huge. Actually, the head coach at Middle Tennessee, right, him and I, Derek Mason, we actually used to share an office with the Minnesota Vikings. Close friend of mine, excited to bring the Blue Raiders here and see what they're capable of doing.
I know you're gonna say every game we treat it the same, but we don't ever want to lose games, man, from somebody that's in the state of Tennessee. I don't care who it is.
Absolutely. We take a lot of pride in trying to be the best team in the state of Tennessee. That's huge for us. We talk about Memphis being a land of its own, but anybody coming over our way, they're going to hopefully leave Memphis with a loss.
And it seems as if this fan base now is so enthused. That crowd should be great.
Oh yeah, we're excited. We need all the fans to continue to show up and show out. Like I said earlier, our students have been absolutely phenomenal. We need the rest of the city of Memphis to show up and be loud and proud.
When you've got battery trouble, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
There's a lot of familiarity between these two coaches, which can make it very challenging. Back with a wrap in just a minute.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Thanks so much for watching. Next week, you'll meet Mario Anderson. We'll see you then.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. Got a check engine light? AutoZone will check it for free with the free Fix Finder service. Available at every store. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Conway Services, official heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. And by Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams.
This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.